And these are the conversations that are happening behind the scenes, behind closed doors. You want more of the clients who lights you up, who makes your business feel expensive, who makes you feel expensive. And manifesting that reality is absolutely within your control once you understand what makes you the biggest magnet that these kind of clients are drawn to, that you are meant to have. But most importantly, the thing that we cannot overlook is the fact that this is the very thing that puts you into your magnetism, that puts you into that energy where you get to be way more magnetic. And then what does that do? Other people respond to that magnetism. Hi, welcome to the Power of Personal Branding and Manifestation podcast. I'm your host, Malika. So glad to have you today on this Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're going on your hot girl walk, that you're getting your matcha, whatever. Okay, if you're not already subscribed to the podcast, definitely do that. And let's jump in, okay? Now, recently I have been hearing the girlies chatting behind the scenes about how they kind of just wish that they didn't have to deal with certain things about, okay, I feel like some of my clients don't value my time as much as I wish, or my expertise, or the level of the work that I provide. I just wish that all of my clients could value my time, my expertise, as much as I feel like I deserve, right? And these are the conversations that are happening behind the scenes, behind closed door, kind of in secrets, okay? That's when you want at least 99.9 of your client to feel like that one dream client who absolutely is obsessed with you. Your work pays without hesitation, pays well. Once you haven't hit that percentage of 99.9 of your clients feel like that one client, or who you are attracting, right, doesn't quite feel like that stat that you feel like you should be at. We want it to be that's a new reality that you're calling it. And although it can feel safer to feel like, oh my God, my personal brand or my content feels like it could be for everyone in that niche, anyone who would technically benefit from that offer, it could apply to anyone who would need that service or need that transformation or need that program. It starts also backfiring in the sense of whatever starts to feel like it could be for anyone, then there's not a strong pull for a particular person. And that is the missing piece of why this is happening, why it feels like maybe your whole reality doesn't feel like it's always attracting those amazing clients that you already feel like you should have at 99.9% of your reality. And here is the truth about not just winning the lottery ticket once in a while, but creating your own luck. And this links to how much your energy in which you show up matters so much, because it will really reflect in who gets attracted towards that energy. A magnet magnetizes what is technically a match for it. And so your energy is going to be the first component to who exactly gets pulled towards you. Because the goal is not to attract the clients who expects the world out of you. It's to attract the clients who are very much aware that they are in control of the result that they get, or they are responsible for the maintenance that they're getting, or whatnot, right? For example, let's say that my skin breaks out and I'm expecting to go to this esthetician and for her to clear my skin, but then I go home, I don't eat good, I eat a bunch of things that are greasy that I know breaks me out, I eat lactose that I know will break me out, and even if I take lactose-free pills, even though I'm allergic, I'm still gonna break the fuck out. And if I'm doing all these things and then I'm expecting to go once a month to a skin treatment for it to fix everything, in my skin to feel super clear, it's just not gonna happen, right? And it's not for you to control every step of the way, because you don't want to be attracting the clients who is in that energy, who is putting kind of all of the outcome on you, right? For example, let's say that someone is getting their nails done and then they don't take care of their nails, they're super sloppy with their maintenance or whatever, that is on them still, right? Even if you're doing an amazing job, it won't matter. And that is affected with the energy that you decide to show up in, right? Deciding to show up in that energy of yes, I delivered this, but however, I'm not taking on my client's world because that's their world. It's also very important to know what is yours to carry versus what is not. And this doesn't make you selfish, it just makes you more aware. And it makes you so that you are very much cleansing the energy around you. Like you are cleansing the expectation and you are setting up the right expectation for yourself and for your client, which will affect who gets invited in, who feels welcome in. Because once you fully step out of that energy, then you start creating space for the other kind of energy that you want more of, that is not making you carry the stuff that you shouldn't be carrying in the first place. This is one of the magic components that start to show up in that energy that is way more magnetic, that actually gets to draw in these clients that you actually want more of, which are the clients who are self-leading, who trust themselves. And you know, there's such a big difference between being someone that is posting content versus building a brand. Like these are two very separate things, because someone could be posting content and still not have a clear personal brand. The difference is this: your content kind of says, this is me, here is me, right? But your personal brand says, here is what I'm all about. Here is what you get when you come here. Here is my world. It's ability to communicate, right? Communicate like the values, what you stand for, you know, what you believe in. And that is the difference between having content versus having your personal brand. And how does this link to, you know, the qualities of your dream client? Qualities of your clients, it's affected with what your personal brand is able to communicate. And one of the best questions that you can ask to see if your content passes the test is to ask, you know, could this feel like I'm for every kind of client who wants a nail service, who wants a makeup service, who wants a skin service? Could this feel for every kind of client who wants systemization, who wants a transformation, who wants a better body, who wants a life transformation? Like, could this feel for everyone in that niche? And if the answer is no, then that is when you know that your content is actually truly communicating these values that like you want your clients to have. And this is why I talk so much about being able to repel in order to create obsession. I feel like there is this fear around like repelling people because it feels like being at a loss. Like, oh, like if I repel people, then I'm going to have less people, right? But that is not actually the case. Again, what is magnetized by a magnet? Like a magnet has two sides. It needs to be able to push away people so that it creates a pull. If there is no push, there is no pull created. It just feels like this wave with like everyone going with the flow. Oh, I'm just gonna go with the flow. I'm gonna figure it out or whatever. Like, no, that's not what you want. When you're changing your reality, you absolutely need to pick one of the realities that you want. Okay, so you either get this one or you get this one. Okay, you can't have both. And so the easier it is for someone to identify with your content, with your brand, then the stronger the pull becomes. And again, like it stops being that like lottery ticket type of vibe of like, who am I gonna get? But it starts being, oh, okay, like you are actively tailoring your luck. You are engineering your luck so that you are actually attracting these premium clients. And it's so important to remember that like premium clients are not limited. Like premium clients don't come in like limited numbers. And sometimes, again, like it can feel being at a loss when you are actively like repelling people, like because it feels like, oh, well, I'm repelling people, so I'm losing people. But the more that you lose the people that are not in the reality that you want, then the more that you get to push in the people that are part of the reality that you want more of, right? That maybe feels right now like it's a 50-50 type of reality, but you want it to be 99.9% at least the clients that like excite you, that like makes your work so magnetic and like makes you feel so expensive. Okay. And here's a little secret that most people will not tell you. And it is that your premium clients, okay, your dream clients, they actually love when people have boundaries, because it signals not everyone can get in here. Not everyone can be in this space, in the space that you provide, that you curate. Like, this feels more exclusive and it feels more tailored to them and like their energetic boundaries. And that feels so magnetic because it's like, oh, okay, like there is a standard, there is, a boundaries in place, and knowing what these are. And a key element to remember here is that you will always attract more of what you accept. And so whenever you're able to cut out whatever drains your energy, then the more that you will have space for what doesn't and what fuels you, right? And so again, so that you are not the kind of person who people can book a call and cancel last minute. You are not the kind of person who responds at your email at 10 p.m. at night for a next day last minute thing, and people know this about you. And this signals a different kind of environment that you're curating, but that also invites a different kind of energy around you, because the more that, again, you're cutting out these things that drains you or that like go over your boundaries, then the more that you get to be in your magnetism, because you're no longer in that like draining energy and that like, let me tiptoe around my boundaries so I don't offend anyone. I think it really comes down to like getting out of that mindset of like, oh, well, if I put my foot down or if I have these limits, then it's actually less attractive, when in reality it is actually more attractive. It just feels maybe a bit more scary at first, but it does so much for you. But it does so much not only for you, but for the people who enters your space, because it's like, okay, like this is like a clean energy space. Like, I don't know how else to put it, but like this is like clean energy. But most importantly, the thing that like we cannot overlook is the fact that this is the very thing that puts you into your magnetism, that puts you into that energy where you get to be way more magnetic. And then what does that do? Other people respond to that magnetism. Like, you are, again, creating this environment where you are curating this energy where there's only space for magnetism. So what ends up happening? The people who enters your space, they need to also be embodying that energy too, because otherwise it doesn't work. Like, it feels like it's clashing, right? And so that makes it so much easier to have people that are coming in to your space, into your environment, that are super abundant, that are in that magnetism. And this doesn't just affect like, who you're attracting with your client, but also like people in your life, and like people that like gets like magnetized to you, that like want to be around you or speak to you or whatnot. Like, it's really crazy what it starts doing. It actually comes with like just upholding dearly your standards for yourself, that like mirrors the reality that you are calling in now. That starts to become a mirror for who gets invited in. Now, speaking of who gets welcome into your space, okay, I want to touch more on that. The biggest factor that changes everything. And I feel like this is something that a lot of people overlook, and because they think, oh, like this doesn't matter as much. Like, it doesn't matter as much. I'm going to put that like in the back burner. When in reality, it matters a lot. It matters a lot. I'm going to stop teasing you on it. And so this is about the fact that like the more that people know about you, the more that they want to choose you. And this is exactly why you would see, like, when someone, for example, someone that I know, she opened up a Pilates studio, which is amazing. I'm gonna go visit it and everything and probably like post it on my Instagram or something. But she opened up a Pilates studio, and everyone wants to have the classes with the owner of the studio, and not all the other people, because of the fact that like, this is the person behind the business. And this is the biggest component that people overlook. It's not just about, what you're doing. It's also about, who you are, your energy, like your personality. Like, that's why people come. Like, that's what they connect with. That's what they connect with the most. And I say like that can be sometimes put in the back burner, because it's like, well, you don't always think that like that's the reason why people come, but that is a huge reason why people come and stay, and much more than people would like to admit. Why? Because you're not trying to tailor to everyone. You're not trying to tailor so that it applies for everyone. No, you're making real connection. You're actually communicating the things that clients care about, that clients connect with, that makes it so that they know, holy shit, you're the best match, right? Think of it almost as like finding like a best friend, like a new best friend. Like, you need to know more than like what this girl does for work. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, like what's her vibe? What's her personality? What's her values? Like, what is she all about? Like, what is it like to be like around her? Like, you know, what's her expectation? What's her standards? Like, all these things. They start curating this new reality. And that, it starts multiplying your one winning lottery ticket over and over again, the more that you are able to translate that with your you branded content. Okay, I've mentioned this before, but you branded content is basically the content that is branded to you, meaning that it's not rooted in a trend, it's not rooted in the algorithm, it's actually rooted in your personal brand, what you stand for, what you want to be known for, and your expertise. And that is when you start to multiply your winning lottery ticket over and over and over again. When I think of being truly magnetic, okay, this is the opposite of chasing energy, is the opposite of wanting to feel chosen or wanting to feel like, oh my God, please, I hope that like my value, I'm worth this value, or I'm worth this much, or like people are gonna choose me, right? It's the complete opposite of that. It's truly knowing exactly your value. It's knowing exactly what you bring to the table, and there's nothing outside of you that can shake that up. Like, it doesn't matter what is happening. Magnetism thrives in knowing that like you are already the chosen one, like knowing that, like, for example, let's say that like you've launched your program and you've got all these amazing clients, and then you get on a call and like you get a no and you get another no, but you are still staying in that mindset of like, holy shit, like if I'm getting 2 no's, then that means that I'm going to get so many more yes right after, right? And not even being surprised when people say yes to you, because you're like, yeah, of course, like this is what I get to have. Like, I get to have so many yeses for myself. And in correlation to that is kind of like staying outside of that like needing energy, right? Feeling like sometimes, oh, I feel like I need these clients, I need these dream clients to find me, when really like they're the one who needs you. They're the one who needs to find you, like, right? Like, you are in that mindset where it's like, I am so grateful that they get to find me because they need to find someone like me. Like, they deserve to have someone as good as you, right? And so when you are in that energy, it is so different. That is magnetism. And the opposite side of that is like feeling like, oh my God, I need them to find me. I need these clients. I need whatever, versus them needing you. That is a very different mindset of like, again, being in that magnetism. And honestly, I'd say that like magnetism is not just something that lives within like your business. It's something that like you get to nurture within your life, within you as a person, within how you move in your life, and like what you're nurturing within yourself. Because anything that reflects the opposite of magnetism, but it's like chasing, wanting to feel chosen, all these things in your life will always translate in your business all of the time. And so whenever you can truly curate this mindset of like, you are out here opening the door, being like, hey, like this is what I offer, this is what I have, you like, this is like me, right? And like, if you are down for that, then like, amazing, get in, like go through the door. I'm opening the door. The door is open for you, right? But whoever is not coming in that door, you're not going out there chasing after them. You are trusting that like whoever is meant for you will come through the door. Like, do we see here how like that feels so different from being in the energy of like, oh my God, I hope people see my value. I hope that I'm worth this much. I hope that like I get chosen. I hope that like people see me. I hope that like they see how good I am, versus being like, yeah, like this is how good I am. I know this stuff, and like I'm just out here opening the door for you. And like, if you want this, then walk in, because like if that's your vibe, then welcome, right? And so that to me is true magnetism. It's being able to stay so solid in you without needing that like external validation, and removing whatever it is that you feel is like taking you out of your magnetism. And so if half of the time you feel magnetic versus half of the time you're not feeling that magnetic, then it always like will shift the reality that's around you, and it's not stable. It's not a stable reality. It hasn't like locked in yet, right? Whenever the reality will lock in, it will be when you lock into your magnetism. And so if there's things like you're doing that, like you feel like, oh my God, like I feel like I'm chasing this client, or I feel like I'm chasing for this, I feel like I'm chasing for a payment, or I feel like I'm chasing whatever, all these stuff, like they need to go. Because yes, having more client is good, but dream clients are actually what builds lasting success for yourself, right? The clients who like talk about you, who refers you, who hypes your shit up, who are so loyal, who come back, who they feel like you guys could literally be friends. Like, you know what I mean? And so these are the clients who build lasting success, because I find that sometimes it can be easier to go after, you know, the more, but more doesn't always equal better. Because when you can truly nail down what gets those clients that are meant for you drawn to you, that makes you magnetic to them, then that's when it naturally starts pouring in more of those clients, more of that reality, and you're cranking up the percentage to 99.9%, if not 100%. And this is the difference between going for, you know, the shiny object, which is like more can sometimes feels like easier technically, but when you start going for better, sometimes it can feel slower at first. The more that you start to learn how to master the exact things that draws in these premium clients, and then the more that you do, the more that it becomes easier to naturally draw these people in, because you are becoming magnetic to the exact things that they are magnetized by. And this is not by like leaving it up to them to like connect the dots of like how good you are, like oh, this is for you, this space is like exactly for you, my dream client, right? Like you're not leaving it up for them to figure out. It's truly about like curating that into your personal brand, into your content, so that it's so crystal clear and it's literally impossible for them to miss it. Okay, and that is when you know you have mastered it completely, and that is when your reality starts to change to like that 50% mark, to like that 99.9% to 100% of like, holy shit, like now my reality is truly reflecting the level that I feel I am at. That it's no longer feeling like, oh my God, it's like this winning lottery game of like, oh my God, sometimes I get these clients, sometimes I don't. It's like, no, like your reality is finally matching your level. Now I hope you absolutely love this episode. If you know, okay, now I hope you absolutely love this episode. If you know someone who absolutely needs to hear this, that like, you know, okay, she needs to upgrade her reality, then send her this. If you haven't already, do subscribe to the podcast. You get an episode every single Tuesday. Thanks so much for tuning in, and don't forget to leave your 5-star rate and review on the podcast. I love to know what you guys think of the episodes, and I will meet you here next week.